Hey everyone, it's Todd, your former mom. All hail the new mom. I just wanted to finish up the video I started, part one, talk about supplementals, by talking about a few more books that are important to me, and that are in supplemental to directors that I love. Specifically, I want to talk about art books. Now, many directors out there have a lot of art that they themselves create beyond film. And I have a few books I just wanted to share from a couple of my different directors that really mean a lot to me. And hopefully some of them might be new to you and something to check out. This is on top of books. I think, obviously writing is an art in itself, and I have a few. For instance, I've got this great little book collecting drawings and notes about Fellini, by Fellini. I've got, of course, Ingmar Bergman's The Magic Lantern, which I've really enjoyed reading. I mentioned before David Cronenberg's Consumed, which I think is an excellent first novel, and I really enjoyed it. Not one for the kids, but if you like his earlier work, it really is a nice return to form. And just starting Transcendental Style in Film by Paul Schrader, so excited to dive into that. So all those are great examples of quick little books written, but I'm really talking about painting, sculpture, things like that. And there's a few books, big books, that I really loved and it mean a lot to me. The first one is actually Matthew Barney's The Creme Master Cycle. Huge book, but I love it. I love flipping through it. I love all the pictures and images and art and everything that goes with the Creme Master Cycle. For those of you who haven't seen the Creme Master Cycle, that's one of my first sort of art film experiences. I was in the right mood, right time, and they had a Creme Master Festival showing all 5 parts in order at our local theater here in Vancouver, British Columbia. Well, I'm in Duncan now, but in British Columbia when I was living in Vancouver, and I sat through all of them, and I enjoyed it. It was one of the most surreal, strange experiences. The Creme Master Cycle are made by artist named Matthew Barney. Some of you may know him as the now ex-husband of Bjork, visual artist. So they're not strong in narrative. And what's also interesting is they were created and financed by selling the eventual releases as DVDs to collectors in handmade cases by Matthew Barney. So they're not really, except for a small piece of Creme Master 3, they're not available to be purchased, or if you do purchase them, they're hundreds of thousands of dollars, although you can catch most of them on YouTube, I think, as of right now. But, it's sort of an experience that you kind of go to the theater to do or see in an art gallery. And I really loved them. I especially liked 2 and 3. 2 is notable for having Norman Mailer in it. Mailer, having one of those nights, and his it was based in part on his the Executioner's Song novel that he wrote, and in the I'll flash a picture up here. He plays Harry Houdini in it. It's a really great film, and number 3 is the biggest. They're sort of made out of order, and this book collects so much of the art, the thinking, the design, and if I can't own the films, I'm really happy I own this book. One of my favorite film directors is David Lynch. I always really enjoyed him, and so I've been able to collect a few of his collections of his artwork. This one always gets people come to my house sort of going, what's going on there? Because it's just called David Lynch Nudes. But some gorgeous, gorgeous photography on the best paper possible, and I really have enjoyed this, and really evocative of his sort of noirish eye. I really have enjoyed that book. And then there's a couple books of his paintings. I have The Unified Field here, also a great book to flip through. And what was the other one here? Diameter, David Lynch, his lithos. Really great. There's more out there. Factory Photos is a big hunt for me. I want to get that one as well. But just last fall, this great book came out called David Lynch, Someone Is in My House, which is really capturing a lot of the book images and paintings and photography that's in these books and sort of summarizing them. So if you don't have any books, I really, really recommend checking out Someone in My House. Someone Is in My House. It's a great, great book on David Lynch and his art specifically. A great companion to the art life that Criterion released. So if you're into that, This is great. I pull it down often and flip through it, and I find it very inspiring. And lastly, I'm going to show you 2 books that I picked up in Toronto during the David Cronenberg Festival. I love David Cronenberg, and there were 2 books that were released as part of his exhibit that he put together with his art. One isn't really David Cronenberg. It's called David Cronenberg Transformation, and it's sort of dedicated to the artists who were inspired by him and created art at the the museum, well, at the TIFF there. They're inspired by David Cronenberg and the works he's created, so it's sort of a companion piece, but I've enjoyed that, and it's sort of neat. But the big one is Cronenberg Evolution. A great, great book. It's got fold-out pages. It really takes you through the design of a lot of his films. So you have like this randomly flipped over from Existence, showing some of the casting and molds. It also goes into what the props are looking like now, some of the different designs, the sort of the framework. Really have enjoyed this book. I think you can still get it. It's published through TIFF by Valmina. And if you're a Cronenberg fan, I think it's a great thing to have on your shelf. Every time I've gone back to TIFF in Toronto, they seem to have another copy sitting there, but there's not many. So if you have an opportunity and are a big Cronenberg fan, seek out Evolution. I haven't seen it for sale on Amazon or anything, but I'm sure you can get it out there. And those are some of the books I love. I think I'll do one more video just in this coming month. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of my favorite soundtracks as well. There's some interesting ones and some that you have to you can't get them, so you have to kind of Frankenstein them a bit, which I did, for example, for Tree of Life. So I'll talk about that a little bit. Some of my favorite soundtracks. Thanks, everyone. Sorry this video came in late, and have a great rest of the weekend and a great week next week. Thanks so much. Bye.